The COVID-19 pandemic has taught us once again the complications of developing a brand new vaccine. Even with money and investments in place, it took time for some clinical trials to recruit volunteers representative of all ethnic groups, a requirement to be able to prove its efficacy.
If I don't do the research in the right situation or the right community, then I don't know if it's going to work for them. I don't know if it's going to work for anyone, but I also don't know if it's going to work specifically for that community. And that's the reason that it's so important to get that engagement early and really have the discussion.
That becomes necessary particularly for certain ethnic groups that have faced mistreatment from the scientific community in the past.
Scientists and researchers have historically violated the trust of the minority community. There's egregious examples like the Tuskegee syphilis study. And so, rightfully so, there can be some reluctance of minorities in wanting to participate into scientific studies.
According to a recent survey by the Public Policy Institute of California, only 29% of Black respondents said they would definitely or probably get the COVID-19 vaccine, far below 70% of Asian Americans, 62% of white people, or 54% of Latinos. In contrast, some 44% of Black residents said they would definitely not get the vaccine were it available today.
Some scientists argue it's their responsibility to earn that trust.
I don't know if they're the most reluctant to participate into the research. I think that we being the researchers, need to do a better job at having the conversation to bring them into the discussion to do the research. That is on us. I don't think that it's that they're reluctant. I think it's our ability to communicate what we're trying to do.
Experts have argued that lack of racial representation within research teams may also be playing a role, but achieving diversity among scientists could take generations. While current socioeconomic inequalities continue to pose an additional barrier.
Also, designing trials should recognize about hidden costs that are a barrier for enrollment. So when you're in a trial, usually the drug is covered, but there's these hidden costs like travel expenses to go to the study sites and also time off work. So lower income and other socioeconomic segments may not have the flexibility to take off time from work for enrollment.
Developing a vaccine that works well for everyone requires wider cooperation for better strategies on volunteer recruitment in the future.